Hey guys, it's Bob Ferngren and I'm back with another 8-minute or less call. This is a podcast call, conference call, YouTube video I've done for probably about 12, 14 years if you're just getting caught up. And a little bit about me. I have been an entrepreneur for over the last 30 years, and prior to that, I served at the highest levels in corporate America, CEO and president for several large national restaurant chains. So what I want to do in whatever time, 8 minutes or less, is just give you some tips. Nobody's got time to, do an hour podcast or, very few people even have time to go attend a Tony Robbins seminar, but you can take one tip a day and start applying it and fix your life. If you want to be successful, here's your tip of the day: be grateful. Now, being grateful means being grateful. The Bible says thankful in all things. So I broke my toe a couple weeks ago and, just walking around without shoes on, hitting on the corner of a door and so I chose to be grateful. I knew that, like the Bible says, everything's working for a purpose. God works out everything. So I just, that was like a real negative situation, and I'm still kind of limping around. So I just said, I'm going to be grateful. There's probably another plan. This is keeping me from doing something. Maybe it's something that affects me way down there, or maybe it affects someone else. So I'll just choose to be grateful. And so I started doing other exercises and stuff. But that refreshed my memory about how I became successful in life. Is probably about 18, 19 years ago, I was learning about gratitude. And, I always was the guy who worked harder than anybody, and I would make sure that my results looked great, like they stood out, like, just sparkling results. And I always did the obvious things too, like when I was going up through the ladder in corporate America, I dang well sure made my boss look good. But I kept hearing there's an easier way. There's a way to manifest and get everything you want, whether you're into The Secret or The Science of Getting Rich by William Waddle. Whatever it is, if you're like a person on a journey to be better, everyone talks about gratitude. So I studied gratitude and then I started applying it. And what I did was I started writing out everything I was grateful for. I'm not talking about just the obvious beauty, but are you aware that if air disappears, you're going to be begging for it? So I'm always grateful for air and food and water, essential things. Why should I overlook that? I want to have great air and great food and all the things that take for a healthy lifestyle. So I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm very, 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 very specific about it. I'm very specific every day, and this is where it started, 20 years ago, writing out things I'm specific for. So I want to have a long, healthy life, right? So I'm very specific. Now, I'm 70 years old. So, I kind of wake up with a new ache and pain every day. That's just kind of reality, guys, and I'm in really good shape. But I'm very specifically thanking God for specific organs, for my joints, my knees, my sight, my hearing, my taste, my smell, my skin, my hair. I'm very, very specific about cells and you name it, about my physical health. Well, the easiest way to get more, and your kids have probably taught you this, is if you're thankful for what you have, then you're going to give more, right? Or, you're going to receive more. Now, that's not a guaranteed do this, get that. It's a quality of life issue. So let me encourage you guys. Let me encourage you. If you want to break the cycle of being mediocre or feeling like a loser or things just aren't moving forward, start being thankful for what you already have. And I'm a Christian, so I'm thanking God in heaven, okay? That's the place to be if you ask me. So I'm thanking my Father specifically for the good things. And good things are not just the obvious things, the pool that's behind me or the lake. So I'll finish with this story. Abundance started coming to me after realizing this is about great gratitude. This is about being specific. This is about yes, I want more. Of course, not being dissatisfied. Content is very important. Being content, but wanting more. That's okay, right? And so I started seeing this vision for a house that I wanted to have because abundance was happening. And so I'm thanking God for the house I'm in, a house that I almost lost because I had made a lot of bad decisions. But then I had paid it off. I paid off all my debt through this process. The huge part of it was being grateful for what I had because I had a roof over my head, even though I was struggling. So I was thankful for that. I wasn't out in the rain or under a bridge. And so, boom, more abundance starts happening. So I see a vision for a lake house. So go through that whole, that's a very long story, but essentially the house that I began to see is the house that I live in. And here's the weird part. This is a mile away from where I used to live, and I never knew this private lake, cannot access it from the public's point of view. I'm out on this beautiful dock. This dock cost more than most people's houses in the United States of America originally cost. Now, again, that's not bragging, guys. I know a formula. It's being grateful in all things, good and bad, and bad things happen. I'm not telling you that if someone I know gets really, really sick, that I'm going to be jumping up in joy with that. My heart's going to break for them, and I'm going to pray for them. But I want to have this spirit of gratitude. It is so attractive. It is so something people want to be around. Because I'll tell you what the opposite is. Have you ever been around someone who's always grumbling? They are not grateful. Someone who's complaining, a negative person, and what is that Nancy thing? Whatever, thing they call people who are always whining. They're not grateful. And you know what happens to them? They're not getting the things they want in life. Again, it's not a formula. It's an attitude, it's a belief, and it's action. Be grateful and start writing out your list. What are you grateful for today? Hey, God bless. Have a great day.